The life of Vladimir Lenin. Vladimir Lenin was a Russian revolutionary, political theorist, and leader of the Bolshevik Party. He was one of the most influential figures of the 20th century, whose ideas and actions shaped the course of Russian history and the global political landscape. Lenin's life was marked by intense dedication and revolutionary fervor, and his legacy continues to be debated and studied to this day. Early life and education. Vladimir Lenin was born on April 22, 1870, in Simbirsk, Russia, to a middle-class family. His father, Ilya, was a teacher and inspector of schools, while his mother, Maria Alexandrovna, was a homemaker. Lenin was the third of 6 children, and his family was deeply religious and politically conservative. Lenin showed early signs of intelligence and a strong interest in politics. He excelled in school and was particularly drawn to the ideas of Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, who were critical of capitalism and advocated for a classless society. After the death of his father in 1886, Lenin's brother, Aleksandr, was executed for his involvement in a plot to assassinate Tsar Alexander III. This event had a profound impact on Lenin and solidified his commitment to revolutionary ideals. In 1887, Lenin's older brother, Dmitry, was also executed for his involvement in a plot to assassinate the new Tsar, Alexander III. This led to Lenin's radicalization, and he became increasingly involved in revolutionary activities. He was eventually expelled from Kazan University for participating in student protests and was forced to study law at home. Political activism and exile. In 1893, Lenin moved to St. Petersburg and became a full-time revolutionary. He joined the Russian Social Democratic Labour Party, RSDLP, which was a Marxist group advocating for the overthrow of the Tsarist regime. Lenin quickly rose through the ranks and became one of the party's leaders. In 1895, Lenin was arrested for his revolutionary activities and exiled to Siberia for 3 years. During his exile, he married Nadezhda Krupskaya, who became his lifelong partner and political collaborator. Despite the harsh conditions, Lenin continued to write and organize, and his ideas evolved to form the basis of what would later become known as Leninism. In 1900, Lenin moved to Europe, where he spent the next 17 years in exile. He traveled extensively, meeting with other revolutionaries and studying Marxist theory. During this time, he also published several influential works, such as What is to be Done and The State and Revolution, which outlined his vision for a socialist society. The October Revolution and Rise to Power. In 1917, after years of political turmoil and economic hardship, the Russian people were ready for change. Lenin, along with other Bolshevik leaders, saw this as an opportunity to seize power and establish a socialist state. In April of that year, Lenin returned to Russia, and within months, the Bolsheviks had gained control of the government in what became known as the October Revolution. As the leader of the newly formed Soviet government, Lenin implemented sweeping changes, including the nationalization of land and banks and the redistribution of wealth. He also signed the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, which ended Russia's involvement in World War I. Lenin's policies were met with resistance from both within and outside of Russia. The Russian Civil War broke out in 1918, with the Bolsheviks facing opposition from a coalition of anti-communist forces. Lenin responded with ruthless tactics, including the establishment of the Cheka, a secret police force, to suppress opposition and maintain control. Death and legacy. Despite the challenges and opposition, Lenin's leadership and policies were successful in establishing the Soviet Union as a major world power. However, his health began to deteriorate, and in 1922, he suffered a series of strokes that left him partially paralyzed. Lenin continued to play a role in the government until his death on January 21, 1924. Lenin's death sparked a power struggle within the party, and his successor, Joseph Stalin, eventually rose to power. Under Stalin's rule, Lenin's ideas were distorted and used to justify authoritarianism and repression. However, Lenin's legacy as a revolutionary leader and Marxist thinker continues to inspire and influence political movements around the world. In conclusion, Vladimir Lenin's life was marked by an unrelenting commitment to revolutionary ideals and a determination to bring about social change. From his early years as a student to his role as the leader of the Soviet Union, Lenin's ideas and actions had a profound impact on Russian history and the global political landscape. Although his legacy is still debated, there is no denying the enduring influence of this iconic figure.